Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Jewel and Auret here, and welcome to the Essetino Mastermind, episode number 158.
Yes, welcome everybody to another mastermind. So excited to be here. It's another Thursday. We host these live streams every single 2 weeks. I'm used to saying every single week, but we changed it to every 2 weeks. And every time we talk about something different. So last month there was a whole topic about personal branding. This month we'll dive into video content, but we really wanted to, while it's still fresh in our minds, share some takeaways from a conference that we recently attended last week in Toronto. So we're going to share that with you today in the live stream. And I want to welcome, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Auret. This is Jewel. We're founders of Essetino Media. And we want to also welcome back the regular viewers as well. So the way that we like to start off here is by sharing a couple wins before we dive into the topic for today. I see Roland is already here. First to check in. Hey, Roland.
Hey, Roland.
How's it going? Awesome.
Win.
Yes, and Roland, please do share your win in the comments because it's a fantastic one. Jewel, do you have a win to share while we wait for Roland to pop that into the comments?
Just going off of, it's a win from the event. Like going to that event was different. We'll get into it, but one of the takeaways is, one of the breath work. There was a health portion of it, and which we'll go into, and just learning and implementing those new techniques since the conference. The conference itself was amazing, great energy. Like I said, we'll go into it, but yeah, it's more of a general win. Also, I can't really say well, if I say all the wins, I'm going to be talking about the whole event. So
yeah, that's totally fine. We'll dive into the event for sure. Yeah, this was full of not just business growth, but also personal transformations. And like Jewel mentioned, there was stuff talking about health. So even on the personal side, outside of business, there was lots to be learned and some great valuable takeaways. Yeah, we'll dive right into it. I'm going to head over to the comments here and see who else is joining us. We have Cheeks from Product Patrol. Hello.
Hey,
hello, Cheeks. How's it going? And Timothy, hello. How are you?
Hey, Timothy. How's it going?
All right. So win from Roland. He had a video on his channel that reached 1 million views today. Yes, that would get me really excited too, Roland. That is massive. Congratulations. I know how dedicated and committed you are to your YouTube channel. You put in the work day in, day out, week to week, and you can really see that like it's a part of you. And this is just one of the many successes and wins to come. So I'm so happy for you and so proud of you for hitting that milestone.
That's epic because we haven't even reached that ourselves. We haven't had one video hit 1 million views yet. I think our highest video is at 500,000, so 500,000, and it's
Mhm.
definitely moving at a lot slower pace than yours. It's the Adobe how to make a PDF fillable video. I'm even just blown away that that video has 500,000 views, but that's an epic win, you know?
It's
Uh,
often the weirdest videos that get the most views, right? The
yeah.
ones that you don't expect.
And if you just even think about that for a second, 1 million views,
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's crazy to think about. And side note, when we went to Toronto, we actually met up with Roland in a different city. So
Yeah.
that was cool. When we met up with him again, originally we met him earlier in the year in Montreal, but we met him in Ontario in this city called Bob Cajun, which is like a weird city. We were in a weird part of Ontario, and this was kind of like where we could meet, where we could both meet conveniently. And I remember we were having coffee, and you were mentioning, you were like 10 days away. At that point when we met, you were at 10 days away based on the amount of views that you were getting per day. So it's so cool that, we had met up, you were talking about it, we were getting really excited for you. And today is the day that you hit
Here
the.
we are. Yeah, that's amazing. Amazing. Great work, Roland. Great work. I mean,
I
that's an
would say,
understatement.
I would say just as this is a monumental win for you, Roland. I would go and celebrate. Go do something out of the ordinary that you wouldn't typically do. Don't do the same kind of thing that you always do. Go, like maybe go out for dinner, like at a new place that you've never been to, or get a cake or buy something for the your channels or something like that. But celebrate with something different, because 1 million views on a video is definitely something to be proud of.
You could also celebrate with your viewers too by doing a video for them, dedicated video, right?
Yeah.
There's lots
Or
of fun things that you could do. Yeah, or live. Yeah. Um, that's amazing, Roland. Hello, Tracy. Good evening. Nice
shout
to see you
out
on
Trey.
here. All right, and we have Win from Cheeks, networked at Grocery Innovations Canada show. More
Cool.
products. More products to come. Very cool.
That is cool. And just a
That's
side note, I just wanted to ask Tracy, did I know you were inquiring about the affiliate links for the Profitable Reviewer and the Profitable Channel. Did you end up getting the links? Like, is it all working, dashboard and everything like that? Let me know.
And we have Phil in the house. How's it going, Phil?
Hey, Phil.
And thank you, Timothy. Yes, it was my birthday 2 days ago on the 24th. And I received so many amazing messages from you guys. So thank you so much for posting on my wall on Instagram. Like I was getting messages from all different directions. So thank you very much. All right. And we have Lisa. Hey, Lisa, how's it going? And thank you for the birthday wishes. All right. And Felix. Hello, hello, Felix.
Hey, Felix, how's it going?
Cool. Phil, and Phil has an idea for you, Roland. How to get 1 million views on a YouTube video.
I was actually gonna ask you, Roland. You don't have to answer here if you don't want to, but I was gonna say, like, it'd be so cool to share your win on our channel and kind of give like the stats of the video, because people always want to know, like, what did 1 million views do? What was it about? What was the video like? What's the topic? What were the demographics? If you're cool to share the monetization, like all, I know people like to see the stats of everything, and I think that would make a cool video for either your channel or our channel, and then we could just feature you and stuff. So that's another idea I had.
And I'm also helping Roland design his media kit, because this, I mean, every time you get a win like this, like you want to leverage that, and especially if you want like sponsors and want to work, create other partnerships, it's always great to have a media kit and just bragging rights, put it all on that 2-page PDF, whatever you got, and that just really puts your best foot forward. It makes the conversation a lot easier as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited.
Roland is stepping up his branding and marketing by getting a media kit ready to go, because you can easily just send that to someone whether they're interested or not. And the facts, the stats don't lie. 1 million views on a video, you can't, that's gonna be an eye opener for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Roland says he likes that idea, but not sure if it's relevant to his other topics.
Okay, well, we can put it on our channel if you're cool with it.
All right, Tracy has got the links and just needs to film the review videos.
Nice.
Awesome. Thanks for updating us, Tracy. All right, so let's get right into it. So we, just gonna put this little banner here in case anyone who's dropping by wants to know what we're talking about. So yeah, on October 13th, 12th and 13th, we attended an event by a community called Archangel, and they put on this event called Millionaire. And to be honest, like before we went, we really knew nothing about this at all. We actually got invited to the event by a client who has known us for years. And he said, he approached me and he said, Auret, something told me to invite you to this event. I think you're really going to love it. I think these are your people. And he's like, I get invited to a lot of different events, but this is the one event that I really look forward to every single year. So that in itself intrigued me, because there was a whole period of time, like Julie, remember, like we were attending events left and right, like all the time. And then we just kind of, we had to really pare down how we spent our time, right? So, so yeah, that was very intriguing. And this event is by invite only, so it's not something that's publicly promoted to everyone. And yeah, we honestly didn't know anything about Archangel or the organizers. All we knew is that they hosted an event back in 2016 where they had Gary Vee and Seth Godin and Robin Sharma as speakers in that event. So we're like, okay, this is pretty legit. And also we really trust our client who invited us. So we come to find that, and this was held in Toronto, we came to find that Archangel is really a community of all different types of entrepreneurs, coaches, artists, authors, change makers who run 6, 7, and even 8-figure businesses. And they're all supporting each other in this journey. And they all exist to make a bigger impact in the lives of other people while building their dream business and their dream life. And that's like so aligned with, you know, what we're doing. Like our business is our life. Like it's our vehicle for building a dream life and a dream business and helping people along the way, right? So yeah, we attend this event. It's called, we didn't know why it was called Millionaire, but we actually found out that it wasn't alluding to like your earnings or anything. It was actually alluding to or redefining the word to mean a change maker who wants to help 1 million people or impact the lives of 1 million people, which I thought was really cool.
I'm just going to pause for a second and just interject before you get into the potatoes of the actual event. So I just want to preface this by saying that we were invited to this event randomly by, well, it's not random because he chose to invite us, but we weren't expecting this at all. But because we knew this client from 2010, and I remember this specific client who ended up being our client, but they weren't in 2010. Like we were just kind of like friends, acquaintances, and then friends. And then over the years, we had been watching each other's journey. And then it was only within the last 2 years where they became our client after seeing all of our stuff. And so this person sent this invite to us, and they said that they had a free ticket and they could bring Auret, but then they had to get a ticket for me, right?
Yeah.
And because this event was exclusive, the tickets were not cheap. And there was a page where you could see the prices like that. For the ticket that we had to get, it was $1,500 US for my ticket. But it could attend for free. So right off the bat, we don't tip, like that was the first time we had spent that amount for one event ticket. You know, obviously that doesn't include flights, hotels. It did include food at the hotel, I will say that. But you know,
we got a VIP ticket. Yeah, if you got a general ticket, it wouldn't have included that.
Yeah, so we got this VIP ticket because our client was a VIP, so we had to match that and get the VIP. And we honestly we bought it and we're like, what is this event going to be?
What did we buy?
I don't know anything about this. The only thing I knew was that we trusted our client and that in the past they had Gary V. And so, Gary V is very credible in the entrepreneurial world. So that's all it was really going on. And I went into this event very open-minded, had no idea what to expect. And I would say it did live up to the ticket value amount and more. Like, I'm so glad that we went, because there was a moment where, like, oh, is this gonna be worth it? Because sometimes you attend things or you buy courses and it's not worth it, right? And I still always try to get something out of it. So yeah, there was like a big question mark before we were going, but from the first like 30 minutes when we walked in, I was like, oh, okay, I can see how the guy who runs his name is Giovanni, and amazing event organizer and entrepreneur. So now I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah. So Giovanni really created this community of so many incredibly successful entrepreneurs, change makers, who at the same time are so humble and so positive and so supportive of each other's journey. It was really a breath of fresh air. It wasn't like any other event that we've been to. Nothing like, a lot of some of these business networking events are very much like, oh, what can I get out of it? And so when people attend events with that mindset, they're prospecting, like, pretty much. They just want to get out what they do to someone so that they can get a lead, they can get a business card or something like that. And this totally did not have that vibe. It was almost like everyone was family, to be honest. And it was just a really, really great vibes. And Giovanni as well, also, in addition to being an entrepreneur and business owner, he also happens to be a filmmaker. And he produced a film called Dreamer, I believe it was, and it won like 3 Emmy Awards. And that was like in past events that he unveiled that. So in this event, he was actually doing a premiere for a new film that he created called Hero, which was also, a fantastic film, and it will be released like in November, early November as well. So, and we're going to share that in the community with you guys just to watch it. Go ahead.
And side note, first of all, seeing a film being premiered at a conference was a first. We've never had that experience before, where we're attending what I thought was going to be a business conference, and then you get this really cool like film to watch. It was almost like a documentary type film, and like Auret mentioned, Giovanni's actually going to be making this film free for like a week in November, and as soon as that film is free, like, we're going to send it out to all you guys, because it's a great film. It's a great documentary. It's got great stories in it. He made the film. He did a really good job, producing and creating that movie, basically. And we all, at the first evening of one of the nights, we got to watch this movie with a bunch of entrepreneurs and the CBC studios in Toronto, where they have this CBC news and radio station where they hold events and stuff like that. So like, it's super professional setup and everything. And they had like a ton of speakers. And I'm just going to get into this one, Auret, because this one really hit me. So before going to this event, I had been listening to the book Limitless by Jim Quick. I'm not sure if any of you know him. He's the brain guy. He's all about memory and how to strengthen and work your brain for memorization, and to use it for other things, for learning and absorbing information. Because, of course, I want to learn about how I can better utilize my brain. It's going to benefit me if I know how to use it to more of its capacity, because let's face it, we're all not using our brain to its full capacity. So I had been listening to this book, and I'm probably at 80% of the way. And then we get to the event. It's day one. It's morning. And I'm like, okay, what's happening? And then they announce that Jim Quick, the author of the book that I had been listening to all this time for the past 3 weeks, was going to be a speaker on stage. And this was a smaller event. So I would say it's like less than 100 people. So it's like in a big stadium or anything like that. So we were in this like quite small and intimate venue room, and he was like right there, and I was like, oh my god, that's Jim Quick. He's right there, and he's been on all the entrepreneurs podcasts and everything like that, like Lewis Howes and all those people. That he's quite well known. His book Limitless is like a bestseller, and so it just blew me away that he was right there in the flesh. Like, and I didn't even know he was going to be a speaker, so that was really cool surprise for me.
Yeah, yeah, no, there was I mean, all of the speakers were really like they each had something unique about them, um and so going back to, you know, Giovanni being a filmmaker slash entrepreneur, community leader, business owner, like that was really inspiring to me to see him put on this event that kind of fused both the creative, like his creative side, along with business. And I went up to him and told him, I'm like, you know, this is really inspiring because, like, you know, I always try to figure out how to infuse my music with my business and like put these two sides of me together. But and rather than keeping them separate. And it was just so cool to see all of that come together in this event. So it actually inspired me to like think more about events and like host, you know, whether they're virtual or live events. It was that was a really big takeaway and piece for me.
This is the book right here that I was listening to, and this is a speaker that was on stage on the first day.
Yeah, and so it was like it truly pushed me to dream bigger, this event, to dream and play bigger, because we were around a lot of big players. I mean, these are people who like this one lady, Julie, I don't know if you want to talk about Jen,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, okay.
so like her clients are like she does branding, personal branding for companies and people, and she actually her past clients include doing branding for Steve Harvey and Oprah. But this is really
Yeah.
cool too. Jewel, I'll let you tell her.
I'll just preface it. Okay. So we know we're going through the speakers. First of all the speakers were very well chosen. I don't know if you've ever been to events, but sometimes it's like, why did they choose that speaker? I've been to events where I'm like, I don't know if that resonated with like, or that person was necessarily a good speaker or whatever. Not like trying to bash anyone, but the caliber of speakers at this event were, and they were all on different topics. It wasn't all on business. Like I mentioned, there was one about just breathing, which by the way, most of us are not breathing correctly, but we can get into that. But anyway, so on the second day, I was a little bit tired because day one was like jam packed. We had just arrived. There's a jet lag thing going on where we're 3 hours ahead. And then we did the movie premiere the night before. So I was like tired, and these events start, you know, right in the morning at 8 a.m., right? And so I was feeling like a little bit tired, and I was sitting in like a little bit of further in the back, and I was falling asleep a little bit just because I was just tired, and there was also so much information, and I was just drained, and that's just typically what happens to me. And so this lady comes on stage, and she's Asian, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's. And her name was Jennifer Kim, and I'm like, cool. Let's hear what she has to say. She starts speaking, and she's going into her presentation, and I can see the confidence is like she's exuding confidence, and she's just really into it. I like what she's saying. She was talking about building a brand, building a team, really going into her workflow and her systems. And then she starts saying how she was involved with the pre-launch of Netflix. So she was working not on exactly the launch, but working on the development of Netflix. So that's like huge. So she was like in major corporate. She ended up leaving that job and doing her own thing and doing personal branding, like Arit mentioned, for Steve Harvey and Oprah. She said every weekend she was flying to Steve Harvey's home to work on the branding. And so I'm listening and I'm like, wow, you know, what a cool quote unquote resume and the things that you've got on your successes. And then she said one line that completely woke me up for me specifically. she was just saying something, and then she goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm Filipino." And then I like sat up in my chair, and I'm like, "What? She's Filipino?" And to me, that just woke me up, because I don't know if you've ever been around Filipinos or anything like that. I am Filipino, so I know the culture very well. And growing up in the whole entrepreneurial thing, I often mention that from the moment I was born, I was meant to be a Filipino nurse. All throughout growing up, they would, aunts, uncles, family, they say, "You're gonna be a nurse. You're gonna be a nurse," and it's just something that they teach you heavily in the culture. Whether I was born in Canada, or in the Philippines, they also teach that as well. And I remember, you're going to be a nurse, Jewel. Go into nursing, go into nursing, and I would get confused because I have shown zero interest in nursing. And I'm like, why do I have to be a nurse? Why does my cousin have to be a nurse? And why does my cousin have to be a nurse? Why are we all nurses? I don't understand what's happening here. And so I constantly questioned that in my family. And the only really answer I could get was, that's just the way it is. And that was just the way it is, because that was like literally what was just taught and taught and taught and taught. And then so when I see this ultra successful lady on stage, and she goes, "I'm Filipino, and I worked with Steve to build his brand what it is now, and I worked on Netflix." And at the time when she was at her like 9 to 5 job, she was doing like 400K a year at her job. That's not including what she's doing now.
Mm-hmm.
It was inspiring to me because I had never seen a female Filipino person in a ultra successful level. I have seen Filipino males in a successful level, but oftentimes they are half ethnicity. So they are half Filipino or they are half Caucasian. And it's very rare to see like a full Filipino, and I'm full Filipino. So I was just like super inspired. And here's the crazy thing. So you know how we spent $1,500 on this VIP ticket that I didn't know what I was purchasing, and I just trusted our client? Well, what I didn't know at the time was that ticket allowed us to have lunch with the speakers. So there was a portion of the event where the general ticket holders and VIP, we would all hear the speakers, and then you would break for lunch and dinner, and you could go into this private room at this other hotel that you had to go to and sit down and speak directly with the speakers.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like I ended up sitting next to her, and I was talking to her, and I was asking her questions. And honestly, sometimes she was saying things and I didn't even know what she was talking about. Like, she's so high level, and like she's talking about building huge teams and $1 million and how to get to 10 million. And I'm just absorbing. I just wanted to sit next to her and be around her energy because I was in awe of it. And then there was a break, and then I went up to her casually, and then I said, "Oh, hey, thank you so much for mentioning that you're Filipino. I think that's so cool. I'm Filipino." First of all, she didn't even know I was Filipino. She thought I was Mexican. And people always mistake me for all different kinds of ethnicities. But anyways, we got to talking, and then I was like, "This is my business partner, Auret." And then Auret came over, and then one thing led to another in the conversation, and then she invited us to her private event in San Francisco that's happening in like 10 days. And so that right there was an amazing win for me personally, because now we're going to get to go to this event and directly, like, she texted us and was like, "Here's the private event." And like, she's not even, there was like a password to get on the page and everything. It's not public at all. And
Yeah.
so attending this, and I'm super excited. And because I'm just like, when you're around people that are just like so successful, and they just like uplift you. It's like I didn't feel like crap or anything being around her. I felt like inspired, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I like learn from you." And like literally everything she was saying, I was like writing it down profusely. So it
Yeah.
was like a major bonus and win for me.
Yeah, no, I felt I was like a complete sponge at that event. Like I felt like a little fish, amongst the sea of big fish. And it wasn't intimidating or anything. It was really inspiring and refreshing as well too, because like you'll always um, you can always hear about best-selling authors and ultra successful people through podcasts and videos and books and all of this and but when you're actually in a room um, speaking one-on-one with these people, it shifts your perception
Mm-hmm.
what's attainable, of what's possible, and it brings it brings like your dreams and your goals closer to you, because the belief level goes up, because you're talking to real people, and it's and these are people that like for me, I also like, I look up to them. I want to model after them, because they're not just go, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle business like a lot of these like other entrepreneurs are, but they're also, there's a human element to them. I think that's the biggest thing, is like they're human. They're like, they're kind. And, um, you know, it was just so easy to talk to everyone and to relate to them too. So, yeah, I think the one of the biggest things that like one of the biggest takeaways as well for me was whatever got you to where you are now is not the same thing that's going to get you to where you want to go next. So, like, because between where we are now and where we want to go, we need to move through thoughts that we haven't thought before, actions we haven't done before, maybe skills that we haven't learned before. Um, and like and being around people like that really makes you see like how like it makes you see the different actions, the different habits, the different ways of thinking. How they think is not necessarily the same thing, so it's just like it pulls you up. And yeah, I really enjoyed this event. It was really cool.
Yeah, I would say you didn't even need to, like, I didn't get to speak with every speaker, but just the energy is way stronger at this particular event, and we got a lot of cool giveaways. Usually they give you a notebook, and that's kind of standard, but at this event they gave so much, to the point where
Yeah.
to like get rid of a bunch of stuff in my suitcase because it was getting so heavy. So I have some of the stuff, and this isn't even everything. So first of all, right when we walk in, they go, make sure to grab your free copy of this book, which is not released yet. This book is going to be released in November by the author Brian Johnson. And it looks like it's a Reed's name, right? Or it's French for stop, but this is actually a Greek word, um, t- something to do with around heroism, being a hero, and like activating the hero in you. So
Mhm.
this is Arete, and he even gives, I'll cover the QR code, but he even gives a free download, an audio download to this book. And check out this book. It's not like a cheapo whatever book. This is like a thick, almost like a Bible type book. Very well constructed. This is going out on Amazon and Audible and all those places. And we essentially got a free copy,
Everyone got a free copy of that book. Yeah.
a month before it's getting released, which was like mind blowing that they even gave this. So I'm
Yeah.
like already blown away. And then
Before you like show the other stuff, Jewel, like I just want to comment on that, because a lot of the stuff, like even the film as well, was based around, like, it was called Hero, right? There was a big theme about really acknowledging the hero within you, and like connecting to your goal and to your mission and everything. And so, um, one other takeaway, one other thing, I really pulled out of this event is like, it really always comes back to, what's your crusade?
yeah,
What's your why? Why are you doing this? Why are you, working on the things that you are doing? What's your in it for the long haul fight? Like, what do you want to contribute? How do you want people to remember you after you leave this planet? Like, you could just tell everyone was super strong in that. And it was like a reoccurring theme over and over again in this event. And it reminded me to come back to these questions, because it's so easy to be led astray, or it's so easy to forget. And it ultimately, when you have that in the forefront of your mind every single day, that ultimately leads you down a path that you are excited to live, and you want to, like that's like, you're gonna get to your goal. And if you don't know the answers to those questions, it's easy to be led astray. So it was, that was, I just wanted to mention that because you showed the book, and it reminded me of that whole thing we talked about over and over again at that event.
Yeah. Before I show the other stuff, let's head to the comments and see what's going on over there.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So, all right. Phil says these events sound like they're good for motivation.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there was a point, like, in the beginning. Sorry, Jill. There's like a lag, so I'm always talking over you. I'll just quickly say there was a point in the beginning, like I said, we were attending these events all the time just for motivation, because that's all, like, we didn't know what we wanted in the beginning of our path. And we just needed that energy from other people to just see what we gravitated towards, right? But this event, like, it was different. It's not just motivation, but it was just like a checkpoint on our journey that's like validating a lot of the things that we are doing correctly, and just reminding us of things that we need to come back to, or reminding us of what of how to get to the next level in our business.
Mm-hmm. And even just a side note, that everyone, like a lot of the people around us were, doing $1 million plus a year. They were like, how do we get to 5 million? How do we get to 10 million? And, like Auret was mentioning, we did feel like little entrepreneur babies around everybody, because we're not at 1 million yet. And, these events are good for motivation for sure, but I'm definitely not an advocate for people who just attend these events and then do nothing.
Yeah.
Or nothing out of it. You just like attend, okay, that was entertaining, and then you just like go back, and then nothing is different. So
Yes.
I was very intentional. Obviously, there's so much information happening that there are certain things that I'm taking from this. One is that connection now with Jen Kim, who we're now, like, that alone was totally worth it for this event, because now we're going to be led off over there, and who knows where that's going to take us and what that's going to mean for us, right? And then there was also a speaker who was talking about breathing and breath work. And because you know how we always talk about health and energy, and to me, health is wealth. And I've mentioned before how I used to be 50 pounds heavier. I lost that weight, and there's still more to go on the journey of, I'm very much into energy levels and how to create the energy and how to just be in peak performance, almost like an athlete for being an entrepreneur, not like an athlete for sports, but I'm always looking to athletes of sports. So I even took, like breathing methods, because they showed us breathing techniques where you can get instant energy, like instant. You do this for like a minute or so, and it's breathing. Like, you think you're like, oh yeah, I breathe 24/7, right? But you're not. The way that they taught us was just completely different. I'd never heard of these kinds of breathing.
Yeah, the speaker was, his name is Sachin Patel, and he said if you can master your breathing, you can master your entire biochemistry and physiology, which is closely connected to how you feel, that your behaviors, and like ultimately you achieving your goals. So it's really interesting that they brought in someone like him.
And he was like a legit doctor too, which was really interesting, because usually traditional doctors aren't into this kind of stuff. So that was really cool. Let me show you some more of the gifts. So we got a cool journal, an Archangel journal, which you typically get a journal when you go to a conference. That's pretty standard. And then we got another book. Like, these are not like PDFs or printouts. These are like the books that they sell on Amazon. Like, this book sells for, I think, 20 something dollars on Amazon. This speaker, by the way, Chandler Bolt, who is about creating your own book, awesome speaker, really awesome. Like he he spoke about why you need to create a book, right? And I was listening to his talk, and by the end of it I was like, yeah, I will write a book eventually. I will. And now that I have this, it's like, it's so awesome that they're so giving, these speakers. They just give away. They don't think about, oh, I'm losing, $20 on this, by giving it away. They're so giving, every speaker. And the fact that we got this book, we also got other books as well. And they even gave a tea advent calendar. So it's like this big box. And advent calendar for December, right? For Christmas, December 1 to 24, you get something each. So this one was a tea advent calendar, and it looked like you would pay $50 or something in the store to get this. It was like super nice packaging and everything. And so the suitcases were all full of like all these books and everything. And this thing is like heavy, right?
I had to put all that in my carry-on because there's no way I was like, my suitcase is already heavy.
Like the airlines are so strict on the weight, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like crossing my fingers that I managed to get rid of other stuff that this was
Yeah.
gonna. Luckily, I didn't have to pay extra, but I was just in awe of all this. And even the event was also sponsored by entrepreneurs who have food brands, like healthy food brands.
Mm-hmm.
They gave away so much free food and free snacks and beverages, and usually you gotta pay for that kind of stuff at the events. They don't, unless you pay for a VIP. But even this was for general admission people, which
Yeah,
the ticket for general was like 600, so is still a good amount of price for the ticket. But yeah, I was just overwhelmed in a good way. And by the end of it, we were just like, whoa, that was a lot. But you gotta, like, when you go to these, you gotta choose like certain pieces to go after, because you can't go after everything, and that's fine. Otherwise, because if you're trying to go for everything, then it's like you lose like you're not going to go for everything.
it was a very generous event all around. I think that's how I would put it. It's just generous in terms of like not just giveaways, but information, energy, and products, and connections, and like all around, just really, really cool. And while Jewel was sitting next to Jen, I actually went and sat next to a different speaker that I really resonated with. His name is Alex Charfin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he actually coached Alex Hormozi during his book gym launch. Back in the day when Alex was doing that, and he talked about the importance of giving yourself longer time horizons for your goals. So he talked a lot about how, like, they'll have someone who just hit $1 million in the year, and they want to achieve $10 million in the next year. And of course, we're all ambitious as entrepreneurs. Like, we want to just reach the next thing really fast. But he's like, give yourself longer time horizons, because like I said earlier, there's a lot of different things that needs to happen, like skills, thoughts, actions, all this stuff that you've never done before in order to reach that next level, that big audacious goal. So it takes the pressure off when you say, okay, like, instead of 10 million in the next year, let's just try to reach 1.5, or 2, because even that in itself is going to be a different, like, it's going to be a big step in itself, and it's going to take you still in that direction of the 10 million goal. And I'm using these numbers because that's just the example he gave us, but like, you could do this with any goals. It could be like, if you're earning $1,000 a month and you want to eventually get to $10,000 a month, then maybe just make your next goal like $2,000 a month, and just, it'll still string you along. Mm-hmm. And he also talked about the importance of documenting your processes now, and meaning, like, whatever you're doing, especially if it's a reoccurring task, actually write out the process for it, because it's going to, like, you're going to have it written out. And next time you come to that, even though you're used to doing it, it's still going to save you a ton of mental energy to just look at a document and follow those steps and just bang it out really fast, which just makes you more productive. But the bigger thing is that you can eventually delegate that task and pass it off to someone and hire someone. And that was a huge takeaway from a lot of the different speakers, is if you want to get to a bigger level in your business, is eventually you're going to have to hire some people and hire a team. And it doesn't have to be like massive organization or anything, but you do need to free up your own time for you to be able to focus on the brand while your team focuses on the business, on the operations and stuff. So yeah, there's so many things. And yeah, like you said, Jewel, it's just like a matter of, okay, what's the focus, the main takeaway from this event? How are we going to put this into action? Because otherwise it's just motivation, it's just energy, but you need to take that energy and do something with it.
Let's hit up the comments. I see some good ones coming in.
Yeah. All right. So Roland says, I'm so excited for you both. Getting invited to Jen's event. Yes, you're going to gain so much. I'm really excited for that. And just so serendipitous how that all happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, a very deliberate theme. Felix says, 100% agree. You feel different in these kinds of rooms and massively boosts your perspective. Yeah. And it's all energy. Like you're borrowing energy from each other and also amplifying the energy in the room.
It lifts you up. Like I to talk to every speaker, because I will admit, some of them I was like, I'm too nervous to speak to them, but I felt very called to speak to Jen. But just sitting at the same table or just sitting near them, and also, even though everyone would seem like way bigger players than us, the one cool thing we had was that we knew YouTube a lot. Most of them do not specialize or do not know about YouTube. And so one thing that we did when we go to the networking is we listen, right? So I want to tell the quick story about how we'll finish the comments. But I would just a quick story how we got a cool contact and potential client now based off of this interesting conversation. So when you were in the VIP, there were kind of like networking games where you would switch around and talk to other people so that you're not always just sitting with people and you're like mixing it up and you're talking to new people, which, by the way, that kind of stuff used to really, like, I didn't want to participate in that kind of stuff, and I used to feel like really intimidated and like nervous to talk to people, but it was totally fine and it was great. And so we ended up sitting next to this lady, and all we did was listen to her. She was a talker for sure. And I would say 95% of the time she was talking, she was telling an interesting story about her life. And I'm like, thinking in my head, this needs to be a YouTube video, because this story she's telling me is wild. It was of her past and how she ended up becoming an entrepreneur. And then she's talking, and like I said, she's doing 95% of the talking. And then, like, right at the end, she's like, I'm just listening. I'm intently listening, and I'm showing I'm listening, and I was interested in her story. And then at the end of it, she goes, "Oh, okay, I'm so sorry. I'm just blabbering on. I'm talking so much. I'm so sorry. What is it you do?" And then I said, in a very calm manner, I'm like, "Oh, I'm a YouTube coach." She's like, "Oh, what's your card? Amazing." And then that's all I said. I didn't even go into it. She's like, "Oh, what's your card?" And then I pulled out my card, which, by the way, people loved our cards. I know that we're moving more into a digital realm, and people have their digital cards now. And it's like, "Oh, what's your Instagram handle?" But we are still old school, and we still handed our card, even though someone asked us for our Instagram handles to DM us, right? We still would hand them our card. And I kid you not, every time we handed our business card, and you guys have seen the design of it, it was very intentional. We have our photo. It's bright, it's loud, it's fun, great branding, in my opinion. people would always comment on it. They would always hold it and they're like, wow, cool card. Oh, I love the glass. Oh, this is fun. And like they would always react pretty much the same way. And so I was going to do a YouTube video on that and just reiterate that just because, things are going digital and whatever, you can still do the old school tactics because that means everybody's going over there and then you can still use like the old tactics that will still catch people's attention.
Mm-hmm.
Have a business card, always put your photo on it because there's like people that gave me business cards and they didn't have their photo and there were so many people and it was so hard to remember what everybody's faces and names were. But anyways, all I did was hand her my card, said I'm a YouTube coach. She had done 95% of the talking. We had gone on to another activity, and by the end of it, she had gone on our website and booked a call with us. And we actually just had the call, and she's actually going to get some coaching and get like us to take a look at her channel. So it's like I didn't even like all I said was one line and that was it. And I remember she was doing most of the talking and it was just, if you're a really good listener and you've got something interesting to say when whatever it is you do, you don't have to say, oh, I'm a YouTuber. Whatever it is you do, make it like an interesting line that people normally don't hear. You know what I mean? Or like, for example, like let's say Roland or whatever. You say something like, oh, I ride 4x4s for a living, or all-terrain vehicles. Just like rather than just make that line interesting, or like Tracy, or oh, I make money planting, or something interesting, right? We'll work on the one-liner, right? But just make it a way that where people go, oh, what's that? Tell me
More. Yeah.
Oh, you want them to go, tell me more about that. So every time I said I'm a YouTube coach, instant, what's your Instagram? And I hand them the business card. And we made a lot of contacts. Like I almost ran out of business cards.
Yeah. Yeah. I was giving a lot of them out because a lot of people were asking about YouTube. So, it was like we had a lot of calls booked in after that event too, which was really great. Without even, like I said, it wasn't like people were like trying to prospect or anything like that. It was just regular conversations and, we're just exchanging ideas and helping each other out. And through that process, you find out what people do and then they find out what you do and they're like, oh, I need that. What's your card? So that was really cool. I'm going to head back to the comments here. So, all right. Where are we? Oh yeah, Tracy was sharing a win. Your new channel just passed 100 subscribers. Cool. And over 68,000 views.
That's her awesome. New channel for Amazon influencer.
That's awesome, Tracy. That was fast. Very fast.
Wow.
I'm so proud of you. That's so cool.
And that's why, she was getting interested in affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
Because essentially is affiliate marketing. And if you can attach other products and services that have higher commission rates, then, it's going to be even more beneficial for you.
Mm-hmm.
You've hit 100 subscribers because people were like holding off on YouTube channels because they didn't think that there was possibility for views or growth. But this is pretty interesting that you've gotten 100.
You proved it wrong. Yeah.
And 68,000 views. That's really cool.
Yeah, Roland also wants to know how young is your channel? How young is your channel?
How young are you?
Gifts are always a good bonus. Yes. Yeah, it was so interesting that they had a whole segment on breathing. So he was showing us different breathing techniques to like reduce stress or instantly boost your energy. And there was like a breathing technique for everything. And it was just, yeah, it was like, it was cool because we kind of already started to dabble a little bit about learning about breathing before the conference. So the fact that there was a speaker there, like going all in about the importance of breathing for your life and business and everything, that was just like, you hear that and you're like, what? That's not that's not normal, but it's so significant. It's so significant.
You would think that that's not a topic for a business conference, but
Yeah.
it's very relevant because you need your health and energy to run your business. And the technique, so I will remember what it was, and I can't remember the name of it, but
Oh, I have the name of it, actually.
we had everyone in the audience do this, and it was like an instant jolt of energy. What was the name of it? Bellows?
Bellows breath. Yeah.
Bellows breath. And
I'll put it in the comments because you
so
guys
I only did it at the conference, and I remember wanting to continue to doing this. So I believe it was like you have your hands in the air. So and then you like have your kind of like fist like that. But I don't think you're like holding it so tight. You're just kind of like this. And it was like you breathe in fast while pushing your arms up. And then you when you bring your arms down, you breathe out through your mouth, right?
Yeah, it was no, actually it was all through the nose. Breathing
Okay,
in and all
okay.
through the
So
nose.
only nose then, even better. Okay. So it was like it looks stupid.
But fast.
A lot of these breathing things look stupid, but they work. And we did many kinds of breathing exercises. And if you just like, I think he said do 30, like
30
go.
times really fast. Yeah, like even faster. Like, and it was
I'm already feeling it.
it was something that like when he did it, I was like, oh, I sort of remember Tony Robbins doing something like that, or before he goes on stage to talk, like he has a certain routine that he goes through, uh, and a lot of like a big aspect of it was breathing in it. So yeah, we did it in the theater, and it was I was quite like I didn't get enough sleep the night before, and it was the first talk of that day. But when we did it, like I was awake. It was so crazy how much it worked, and it just energizes you. It was
just
really cool.
just now as I just did that, I only did like a little bit of it and I wasn't going full energy. You are supposed to look stupid when you're doing it. Like it's you're supposed to go full breathing, like don't care about whatever like how you look. Just make sure you're doing the movement and getting the breath in. And we did like I think 30 breaths, and then by the end of it everybody was like it releases stuff like chemicals in your blood and in your brain. There's an actual scientific thing happening. It's not just whatever woo woo or anything like that. It's like chemically there's something happening that gets released when you breathe like that at that speed.
Yeah. Roland says it's not stupid. I'll have to pull over when driving to do bellows breath.
For
Okay.
real, yeah, no, for he said if you want instant energy, and he's a doctor, right? A medical doctor, but he's also doing this kind of work because he feels it's not practiced enough in the traditional medicine. And so he's being kind of like a new age type of doctor. And he was like, this is the breathing technique if you want to get out of depression. This is the breathing technique if you need instant energy before a meeting. This is the like all the there's kind of like they were treatments or medications for all the different kinds of things, and there's so many different kinds of, you would think it's just in through the nose and out through the mouth, but there's so many different kinds. I even heard of ones where it's through one nostril and then through the
What?
other. Yeah,
I haven't heard about that. How do you
there's
I
one
guess you can breathe through one nostril, but that would be strange, a
that
strange experience.
I was sitting next to a lady who had gone to India and had done months and months of just breathing with this guru type person. And there are so many types of breathing, even the way that you do your lips to get the air in,
Mhm.
like that, and then the how deep the breath goes in. There's so many
Yeah.
different.
But you're supposed to breathe deeply and slowly because he said that the slower you breathe, the longer you live. Because that's why stress is a killer, because it makes us breathe faster than the rate, and very shallow, fast and shallow.
Yeah.
So all of these techniques are towards helping you breathe deeper and slower so that your body gets the oxygen that it needs to do what it does best. So
And
yeah, that was really interesting.
I just another quick one because it's a lot of these stuff like most of the people aren't aware of. So I'm just trying to do like very simple things that people can remember. And one of them was he said when you're breathing, just have the tongue at the top, have it touch the top of your mouth, like the roof of your mouth, and that will like set your jaw nicely for the proper air to come in through the nasal cavity and then like go down. And it's just simple. It's just like because you aren't aware of what's happening like when you're breathing because it's so just whatever you're right, but you might be breathing through your mouth, which apparently is really bad for you. We're not like medical doctors or anything, but this is just what we learned, and we're just passing it on to you guys. And I have been doing certain breathing techniques, being more conscious of the type of air that I'm getting and breathing slower and deeper instead of the stress breathing, right? That a lot of people do on a normal, like that's normal for them, but it's not good for what's happening chemically in your body. It can,
Mm-hmm.
it can age you.
Roland is asking you, Jewel, I found a bunch of shoes and sweaters behind the British store in Bobcaygeon. Do you know anything about that?
What? No, I don't.
I don't have an answer for that either.
First of all, that's funny that we even went to a city called Bobcaygeon.
Yeah, to a British store in Bobcaygeon.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
funny.
by the way, Roland, remember we were getting those unique kind of chips? There was the duck chips and then the Guinness beer chips.
Yeah,
So the Guinness beer chips tasted good, unique flavor. I have no idea what Guinness beer tastes like, but it was a unique chip.
Guinness
The
malt.
the duck chips, on the other hand, did not like at all. They tasted like Chinese food, which was weird to me because I was thinking it was going to be a different kind of flavor. So I didn't particularly like the duck flavored chips.
And that's the report on the British chips from that store.
Yeah.
Um, there was another comment here. Yeah, Tracy. My product review channel. Hope to add a review for the Profitable channel and the Profitable Reviewer courses.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah, we would love that.
for it. Go for it. And even
We encourage it.
you can of videos, Tracy. It doesn't have to just be like one kind. So I'll give you a bunch of ideas. So one could be you could sign into the dashboard of the course, and we're totally cool with this. Sign into the dashboard and have the name of the course like in the background and stuff. And then the curriculum is going to be there, right? And then you can say like, this is the profitable channel course. This is what it did for me, right? Like why you got it. This is the result that it yielded me. If you recommend it, and then just like go through and like evidence show this is the curriculum. This is what I used to do when I used to review other people's courses that I was being an affiliate of, is I would always sign into the dashboard and I would go through. I wouldn't play the videos or anything, but I just show the topics, show the names of the lectures, show that this is what they're going to get. When you can show people what they're going to expect, they're more likely to come to a decision whether they want it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do that, or you can do also showing your results, your monetary results everybody likes. You can show your don't show your Amazon dashboard, but you can have the numbers pop up on the screen. Take a note of how much you've made, what so far, what you're doing per month, all that kind of stuff, and do a video like that.
Yeah, Amazon doesn't like it when you show your dashboard.
Yeah, so you can do something like, Amazon influencer program, 6 months so far, however long you've been doing it. And another kind of video is you can have us on your channel. You can interview us or ask us questions or anything like that, to show we're the creators of the course, and if people like our energy, then they're more likely to purchase, right? So those are 3 ideas that you can do for each of those courses. So that's 6 videos.
Amazing. Braden is here. Hey, Braden, we're just about to wrap up, but thanks for stopping by, and I hope you watch the replay. And thank you for the birthday wishes. Really appreciate that. Roland was suggesting you were emptying your luggage bags to bring gifts home. Oh, it was a timing issue. We didn't get the joke because of the timing. Jewel. And he says the turkey pheasant chips he bought tasted good. Tasted like barbecue. Phil says, when I was younger, I used to take diving lessons and we used to practice holding our breath. I got up to 2.5 minutes in the end. Wow, that's awesome. They actually talked a lot about holding, like doing breath holds as well. I don't know the science behind why breath holds are good, but there was another technique where you breathe in for 4 seconds or 4 counts. The goal is to get to six counts if you can. You do a breath hold, so you hold your breath for 4 counts, and then you breathe out for 4 counts. And it's called like I'm not sure if that was box breathing or a different name, but it was like 4-4-4. Eventually trying to get up to 6-6-6. So yeah, the breath holds were also, he talked about that briefly.
Just a quick side note to read. You just want to block some 2 people in the comments there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah, I'll get on that.
Yeah, on the 3 dots, and then you can get rid of that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, like because I'm on I can't do anything on this side.
Yeah, I see it. I only go down there and see it once I actually get there. So thanks for the heads up. Done. And Phil says also as well, it really helps your fitness being able to hold your breath as it strengthens your heart. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, strengthening the heart. The heart is a muscle. So it's probably something to do with like the amount of oxygen being let into the heart, and therefore the veins, the blood, like the rest of the organs, everything. Yeah, so it was really interesting having that whole breathing segment there, and it just made me want to learn more about breath work. And I was, I had previously like done breathing exercises, but more so for singing to strengthen the lungs. So I was kind of used to already like doing the breath holds and breathing in and out. And again, those exercises that make you feel silly when you do them, but they're actually very healthy for you. So something I want to get back into.
I think that Gio did say that when the Hero movie gets released to the general public, because we're going to be helping him promote this movie, which is going to be an awesome for you guys to see. And I would it again, that he said he was going to share some of the speakers, the talks that we have. So I think that's going to be part of everything. I'm not exactly sure, but I think that's what's coming down the pipeline mid-November.
The replays, you mean, from the event?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he's gonna share that or roll it out. I know the movie will be available to watch. I think he said for free, right? Between November.
For a week.
For a week.
For 1 week. So, okay, let's go backtrack, because Gio is a dreamer, right? He's someone who has big, audacious goals. And the fact that he even became a filmmaker, like I don't think he had any experience in it, and let alone making a movie, documentaries and films, but he went into it, and like Reed said, he won Emmys or Golden Globes or something like that.
3 Emmy Awards, yeah.
Awards for a Dreamer movie, which I believe is still online right now. And so this Hero one, he has a goal to get 1 million people to watch his movie, Hero. And so we're going to be promoting it because we just think it's a great movie for everybody to watch. And
great message.
When you're around people who dream so big, you're like it didn't make me feel bad. I'm like, wow, why aren't I dreaming big like that? Like my dream seems so small, and like not bad way, but I'm like, I should go bigger. I should dream bigger, want to do more. Again, not in like a lack or negative way, in like a positive, uplifting way.
Yeah. And Roland says there are Sachin Patel videos on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know if I haven't checked to see if he has a YouTube channel. I'm sure he does, but he has a lot of stuff online and has a best-selling book. Trying to remember the name of it, but I forgot. But yeah, guys, that was, we gave you the full play-by-play of the event and our takeaways and everything. It was a really great, a great boost of energy, and I'm sure you'll start to see some of the different moves that we make after attending this event, in the next few weeks, months, etc. So we'll have bigger goals for 2024.
And we'll probably do a thing like this when we attend the other event that we got invited, and the takeaways we got from that one as well.
Yeah, awesome. Well, guys, we'll end it here. Thank you so much to all of you for attending this evening or morning, Phil, wherever you're watching, or others who are watching from. Yeah, in the middle of the night. We appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for spending time with us. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button so it hopefully, pushes it out. YouTube will share it with more people. That would be awesome. And hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.